Welcome back. There's been another extrajudicial killing in Lagos, but those alleged to be responsible this time came all the way from Abuja, specifically from the Criminal Investigations Department of Force Headquarters, Abuja. The officers were said to have been invited by land grabbers to make some arrests in the Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos. However, things went awry along the way. Our big story tonight examines the issues surrounding the death of one of the youths following the invasion of the community by the policemen.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Olomowere community, a town located within the axis of the Lekki Free Trade Zone in the Ibeju-Lekki local government area of Lagos State. The people here are predominantly fishermen owing to their proximity to the sea. But this was not a day to venture into the waters. Instead, they shut their doors and troop out to protest against the gruesome murder of one of their youth, Ayomiku Adekoya. A sorrowful atmosphere pervades the Adekoya family home as family members and sympathizers all let out their grief over the killing of the 29-year-old fisherman and father of three, allegedly by policemen who stormed the village in company of some land grabbers last week.
I was in the palace waiting for them until when I had gunshot at the bus stop. What is happening? So before I sent people there, those people, they have run away. That is police from Ajiwe and some gangs of Jagungbale with Madam Mulika and Shegun, her son. So they came along with those people. I was told that all of them are shooting.
The bullet holes on this wall are evidence of the extent of the attack. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Umar Manko, promises that the incident will be fully investigated and justice served.
And when we discovered that certain things were not very clear to me, I told him that the CID should take over the case for thorough investigations. The arms that the detectives had on them should be retrieved and sent for examination, and the body be kept for autopsy. We are not going to condole anybody who comes to work to do their duties and go extra mile. But one thing that is very clear about this case is that the policemen said they didn't fire. I have seen the pictures of the deceased body, and we will go the length or the extent that it will take us to establish the fact.
We need to beef up security reserves. That's one. Two, the land grabber, the government needs to intervene in the issue of the land grabbers. They need to really warn the Nigerian police force. It still is in there that where any inquiries to be conducted, I think their first cause should first of all be the habits of the community or the value of the community. If they want to make any arrest, they need to consult the KBAC, the primary leader of the community. From there, there is nobody the primary leader cannot invite to his office. All of them will come.
For now, Ayomiko's body lies at the mortuary while his family await the outcome of the investigations. If indeed the people's allegations are true, then the police may have to take another look and the Police Force Order 237, which specifies under what circumstances policemen are empowered to use arms.
Indomie instant noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Leadership and a political system that creates room and opportunities for the poor in society is most needed for dealing with the scourge of poverty in any developing country. This is according to Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who was a speaker at the 11th Center for Values in Leadership's annual lecture in Lagos today. Mr. Adesina prescribes the development of a poverty accountability index that will review the performance of elected public officials and leave their re-election in the hands of the citizens. Governor Babatunde Fashola has asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, to develop and invest in communities where they do business. While inspecting the recent ruptured pipeline site in Ijegun, Governor Fashola insisted that the agency needs to adopt best practices like other national oil corporations. He also took time out to commission classroom blocks and a jetty in Ojo and Ijegun areas of the state.
Ijegun, site of the recent spill from a burst petroleum product pipeline. The people are now living in the wake of the reality. Governor Babatunde Fashola has now come to see for himself the extent of the damage.
NNPC must just raise its game. It must raise its game and adopt the highest standards that national oil corporations of their type really apply. Mark out its right of way. Spend some of the money that we hear is in their control, very large billions of dollars. Let them spend it here in the country to develop the assets with which they do business.
From Ijegun to a more pleasant note, the governor commissioned 2 blocks of 12 classrooms at the Iba Housing Estates Secondary School. And to another, an ultra-modern block of 18 classrooms built by Modupe Alakija and dedicated in memory of their late mother, Alice Ogbara Memorial Junior School.
Let us continue to see the glass as half full instead of half empty. And let parents, guardians, leaders of community show more commitment to education. It is not just enough to buy the uniform and send the children to school. A visit to their schools will send a very strong message to them that their education is important.
From matters of education to transportation, the newly built jetties at Ijegun, Egba and Ebute Ojo were inaugurated. Lagos, being the kind of place it is, some pleasant and some not so pleasant, the state government says is determined to meet the challenges and pursue its vision for a greater state.
2 passengers of a truck escaped death today after their vehicle broke the side of the Maryland overhead bridge and fell onto the BRT lane along Ikorodu Road in Lagos. No casualty was recorded in the accident, which occurred at about 2:30 a.m. Officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and state emergency management agencies are clearing what's left of the truck, which broke into pieces. The accident caused some traffic for commuters traveling towards Yaba as the incident forced them into a single lane. Eyewitnesses say the truck was speeding and lost control as it tried to negotiate the bend in front of Oando filling station. They also say the driver of the truck was trying to avoid being stopped by the police when it swerved off the road.
First Bank, truly the first.
Well, now we're looking into the world of business, and here's Adeshawa Josh.
Well, thank you. Let's take you through our business stories of this hour. Nigeria's Consumer Confidence Index increased to 83% in January, and this end users made more purchases. Well, this is according to a survey carried out by NOI Polls Limited, an opinion poll and research organization. The investigation shows that 64% of Nigerians are more comfortable with the present personal and economic situation, while their expectations for an improved economy for 2014 rose to 96%. Nasarawa State has issued a 5 billion naira 7-year bond under a 20 billion naira infrastructure finance program at 15%. The bond, which is said to be fully underwritten, is expected to mature on January the 6th, 2021. The offer was 100% subscribed by the underwriter, says the issuing houses, Nigeria's Dunlore and Merrifield, and the local unit of South Africa's Standard Bank. Nasarawa is one of the several states in Nigeria to have launched bonds since last year as risk appetite wanes and Nigerian fund managers switch to fixed income from equities. The switch has been partly intended to hedge against losses from a stock market correction in the wake of the U.S. Federal Reserve's tapering of its stimulus package, which had kept emerging markets awash with cash. And out to the stock market, where it's still down the heels at the Nigerian stock market. More stocks are shedding gains, and even the stocks that gained did so marginally. Harriet Agbeni joins us now with the day's figures and the stories behind them.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The downtrend continued at the Nigerian equities market as the bear's grip on the market remained unrelenting. The gainers and losers list had 26 stocks apiece, led by some market bellwethers, with marginal price gains all below 1 naira. Guinness, CCNN and Ashaka Cement were the top 3 on the gainers table. On the flip side, however, Nestle shed 10 naira, that's 0.87% off the equity. It finished at 1,140 naira. Mobil and UACN trailed behind, shedding 1 naira 80 kobo and 1 naira each from their share price. Hallmark Insurance, Axis Bank and Transcorp were the most actively traded stocks for the day. Investors in 4,700 deals bought 261.84 million shares for 2.70 billion naira. And those are the day's trading figures. I am Harriet Agbeni.
Still on business news, Japanese consumer electronics maker Sony has announced plans to sell its personal computer unit and split its television division into a Japanese investment fund. The company, which will also cut 5,000 jobs globally, says this is part of its restructuring program. The move comes and was announced as Sony forecast a net loss of $1.08 billion for the financial year to March 31st. The overhaul is the 4th round of large-scale job cuts over the past decade. And Sony says the job cuts will save about $1 billion a year, starting from early 2015. The company hopes to explore the opportunities of transferring some employees to jobs within the company, which has about 145,800 employees, and offer others an early retirement support program. That's business news this hour. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger is optimistic that the 9-year wait for